Thanks for coming back for day 2. And I'll try to do one every day. Today, just a little, I pulled up something for a little inspiration as we start, and I always loved this one. Your practice doesn't expect you to show up happy. It asks that you be present. It doesn't mind if you are put together or if you're a mess. You can arrive with a jumbled mind and a heavy heart. Your practice could care less if you can touch your toes or meditate for hours. It asks simply that you show up, right? And so right now, that's what we're being asked. We're being asked to show up, right? And so let's work with that. Let's show up as best we can. And as we show up, and there are days that we're going to show up messy, how do we interact with that? And so sometimes we have to take pause. So let's just do that as we get ready to start. So I have a little pillow that I'm sitting on. You can grab a blanket, a bolster, a block, a pillow from the couch, a blanket from the couch, whatever you have at home. I mean, we don't have to have specific yoga props. If you don't have them, there are plenty of things you can use that you have within your reach of your living room. So just get yourself nice and settled in a comfortable seat. I'm sitting in an easy seat, which is just a little cross-legged position. If lotus is good for you, you're welcome to go there. If this isn't good, and more of a kneeling position sitting on a block, just find whatever it is that works. But the higher you get your sit bones up, if your knees aren't comfortable, the higher you get your sit bones up, the more that'll protect the knee joints for you. And then just plug into your sit bones. Let's just get nice and grounded. So sit bones plug into your mat, to the pillow, whatever you're touching. And then let yourself grow tall out of the pelvic bowl. So you just let yourself kind of maybe like snake up a little bit. And then as you lift up through the heart, let the shoulders relax together and down. You're not like squeezing or forcing, but just trying to find that steady neutrality, the being authentic to your structure, right? And so getting the hips over, shoulders over hips, and then just letting the arms fold out in front of you. You may come into prayer hands, into the lap, or different little mudras, and that's just, different finger holds, right? So a lot of times the pointer finger and thumb together, and then just let yourself get nice and tall. Let your eyes close. Draw a nice full breath in and a full exhale. And a full breath in and a full exhale. One more, nice and full in and out. And then take these next few breaths just to swim around between the ears and the mind's eye, like what's going on today. As I said, we all show up in varying levels, and you might feel fairly energetic. You might feel a little sluggish. Just let yourself look into it. Some of the beauty of that is knowing that you don't have to act this moment on whatever's going on. If we create that pause, if we get grounded, if we get still, if we can separate a little bit from the immediacy of it, we can find a little peace. feels right for you, start to flutter the eyes open and take in your surroundings. And then bring your left hand to your heart, and you can let the right hand just kind of rest into your lap, palm open and up. And then just a few taps onto the chest, just waking everything up. Big, full breaths, so you start to fill the lungs. And then go ahead and release the left hand down. Taking the arms, sweep them up overhead, nice and long. Interlace fingertips, pull the palms up towards the sky. Find length. Notice if you bow the ribs out, draw them in and up. And then from here, release the fingers. Bring your right hand onto the left knee. The left hand's going to come behind you to support the spine nice and long. And then just take a twist, starting to look over the left shoulder, these little twists that we'll do throughout the practice today that rinse into the spine. I liken it to, like rinsing out the washcloth, right? Excess water, and you just squeeze that out. So squeezing out the excess. Some days that's physical matter, some days that's mental matter, some days emotional. So just giving yourself that little squeeze to understand that you don't have to carry everything. Some things are not your responsibility to carry. Take one more full breath in, and a full exhale. And then bring yourself back through center, interlacing fingertips, press them up to the sky, get nice and tall. And then let's move over to the other side as you release, left hand on the right knee, right hand behind, supporting the spine nice and tall. Start to twist over, looking over the right shoulder. These little twists as we move through this practice, they give that squeeze into the visceral body. So we get in and you get that little squeeze into the spleen and the liver, into all of our digestive tract, and that little squeeze helps all of the fascia that surrounds all of our muscle tissue and our organs. It keeps that supple so we can keep the mobility and they can keep working as they should. When we hold stress in the body, it starts as one little nugget, right? Like somewhere, maybe it's shoulders or in the neck or the jaw. If we continue to hold that stress pattern, the fascia kind of grabs around it too and says, oh, hey, what's going on here? I'll support you. And then before you know it, we have restrictions in our body. And so finding ways to continue to move so that we can move through whatever we're holding. And we work with that on a physical level in this practice because then we, over time, see how that translates into our everyday life. How when we take time, stop, notice what's tripping us up, and then do some of the work to start to move around it, through it, loosening its grip on us so that we can find more freedom. Take one more full breath in. And a full exhale. Bring yourself back through center. Bring the arms up and then start to reach out in front of you, just folding over the legs, get nice and long. Forehead can come to the block, a pillow, the floor. And then start to make your way up onto hands and knees. You can move your pillow, bolster, block, whatever you are using, move that out of the way. And then from here, go go ahead and take a few cat-cow, letting the heart float up, full breath in, and then on your exhale, really pushing the mat away. Inhale, send the heart up. Exhale, round through the back. Inhaling. Exhale. Take that one more time. Inhale, let the heart float up. Exhale, round through the back. And then let yourself find center. Now this one sometimes is a little tricky for people, so we're going to do some like barrel rolls, right? So let your belly drop down and roll it over to the left, and then arc through the back and roll it over to the right, and then drop the navel back to center. And do that a few more times, just finding this big rotation through the torso. Go one more time. And then when you get back to center, now we're going to go the other way. So rock over to the right. These big circles drawing with your navel. Let's take one more. All right, from here, start to bring yourself back to down dog as I continue to futz with this mic. If anybody has suggestions, you can share with me. All right, so from here, finding your way into down dog. We talk about this relentlessly in my class, finding a good foundation in down dog. You want to make sure that the hands are firm into the mat. You want to feel the whole palm as you grip in, almost like you're trying to grip a jar open, and arms are long and strong as you push yourself away. The shoulders broaden because that's what they do when you put your arms overhead, but then you need to give a little squeeze into the armpit so that you don't drop through the heart and hang in your shoulder joint. Lots of core engagement as you pull the hips up and back, and then that internal rotation of the thighs, helping draw you up and out of the shoulders. Give the head a little shake, let it move around a bit. A little yes, a little no. And then taking your left leg, reach it up to the sky. Turn your hip up, bend the knee, press the sole of the foot over, finding some length. Rotation in the ankle or those big knee circles, getting into the hip joint. 2 or 3 in one direction and then switch around to the other. And then take it nice and long, reach it up and behind. And then drop your left hip in. So now you're going to square up to the mat, and as you press back, your left toes face the floor. You want to feel the internal rotation of your left thigh as you lift it up behind you, nice and active. Keep drawing in through the center. Bring the knee in, squeeze it in towards your nose, and then take it back up to the sky. And then bring your knee high up onto your left tricep and back up to the sky. And then bring it under the body to the right. Try to get above the elbow if you can, and then back up to the sky. This time as you bring the knee through, step it forward. You'll find I love to start classes in low lunges, getting into all these major joints. So again, here you're sinking into the left foot, nice and long through the right leg. You can always bring the right knee down or blocks under hands, right? If you need that extra height, you grab the blocks, pull those in, and then hunker into your left foot. Press down, nice and firm. Start to draw the left foot back towards the back of the mat. And as you press back through your right heel, try to draw the right heel towards your navel. And then feel how that creates that length. Reach through your heart. Right hand's going to stay connected. Left hand's going to reach up. Find your twist. Stacking shoulders. Maybe some big arm circles here, just getting into the shoulder joint. Taking the arm up and around. One more time in this direction. And now the other. Nice. Both hands down. Bring your right knee down to the mat. Hands up onto the left knee. Sink down and forward. And if you want to play with just a little different variety today, you can bring the arms up. Drop your right hand so it comes to the base of the neck. Left hand's going to grab hold of the right elbow. And then you're going to lean into the left. Gaze up to the right if that's good in the neck. And then bring yourself back through center, releasing the arms down. Curl your toes under, straighten through your right leg, and then just hop the right foot in enough that you can start to fold over your left thigh. Again, blocks can be nice here. You want a little micro bend in both feet, both knees. Oh, looking at my feet with the head drop. I'll try to let that go. Sometimes messy, right? All right, so take the gaze to the top of the mat, walk your hands forward, step into your left foot, take the right leg up to the sky, a little standing split. So as you're here in standing split, reaching tall, let the upper body go. And then go ahead and tuck the right knee behind the left, and then you're going to come down to the seated position. So the left knee will be up to the sky. And again, if you want to grab a little blanket or something, grab that under the hips. You're welcome to squeeze yourself nice and tall. And then the right hand's going to hold on to the left knee, and your left hand behind. We're going to take another little twist here. Get as tall as you can. Ground in through the sit bones. Reach up through the crown of the head. One more full breath in. And then bring yourself back through. Hands are going to come to the mat. This is a tricky one, right? You're going to step back into the left foot, coming into standing split. And then as you step back, right foot will land, left foot will follow. Come forward to a high push-up plank pose. A few breaths here, just building a little heat in the body. Hands are firm, drag them back, press back through the heels, but draw the toes towards the navel. And then shift, lower all the way down. Let the shoulders wrap onto the spine. Hands are firm into the mat. And then go ahead and let your heart float up as you come into baby cobra. Take one more full breath in. Release your forehead down. Pressing yourself up and back, down dog. Take your right leg, reach it nice and long. Turn your hip up, bend the knee, a little rotation in the ankle, or coming into the hip again. Some big circles drawn with the knee, 2 or 3, one direction, and then switch to go to the other. And then let your hip drop in. Square yourself up. Feel the internal rotation of the right thigh as you press back. This beautiful long line of energy from the hands rooted in all the way up through the lifted right leg. Bring the knee in towards the nose. Let yourself round, squeeze in nice and tight. to get back up. And then right knee high up onto the right tricep to get back. Right knee under the body to the left, and then back up to the sky. And then step it forward, coming into your low lunge. Right foot hunkers in, left leg long. Just really settle in like you're trying to spread the mat apart, but then draw it together. So you really feel how when you scissor the legs back in, you feel the inner thighs turn on. You draw in from the base of the perineum. There's that natural core engagement that helps you get a little longer. Shoulders draw into the back as the heart reaches forward. Let your left hand stay connected. Right hand's going to reach up to the sky. Now again, if you want those big arm circles, 2 or 3 in one direction. And then switch. Nice. A little more length. And then both hands down, bringing your left knee down, hands up onto the right knee, sinking down and forward. And you're welcome to stay right here. If you want to add on, taking the arms up, give a bend to the left elbow so that the left hand comes to the base of the neck. Right hand's going to grab hold of the left elbow, and then you're going to lean in. Come back through center. Reach the arms up. Hands will come down, floor or blocks. Curl the left toes under, and then as you hop your left foot in, straighten through the right leg as you fold over. And you can start to walk the hands back. Let your head get heavy. Walk the hands forward. You're going to step into your standing split. Right foot's your base. Left leg reaches up as you fold forward. It doesn't matter how high the leg goes. In your mind's eye, visualize the sole of the foot up to the ceiling. Where can we see ourselves? What can we see past? Can you see past your limitations? All right, left knee, you start to tuck it behind the right, and then you give a bend to the right knee so you bring yourself all the way down to a seated position. And then let yourself find that spot where you can plug into both sit bones, holding the right knee in, squeeze it with the left arm, take your right arm behind, another twist, as tall as you can. One more full breath in. And a full exhale. And then bring yourself back through. You're going to kind of rock over to the left as you plant the hands, and then take your left leg, reach it up to the sky. Step back long, right foot follows, stand on. Come forward to a high push-up plank pose. Holding a few breaths. And then shift. Lower yourself all the way down. Keep the shoulders in, the elbows tight in, hands firm into the mat, and then you're almost like dragging yourself through. Heart reaches forward. full breath. And then release down, pressing yourself up and back, down dog. Nice. Take the gaze to the hands, step up to the top, inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. And then bring yourself all the way to stand. Arms are going to reach up overhead. Grab hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Stand firm into the left foot and lean into the right. Come back through center. Grab hold of the right wrist. Stand firm into the right foot, leaning into the left. And then back through center. Arms are going to reach up and then just cactus them. So you draw, kind of pinch the shoulder blades together. Draw in through the core, so don't let yourself bellow out like I was just a second ago. Draw in, lift long, and then start to lay back. Look up at the ceiling, let your heart float up. Maybe you catch the wall behind. Come back through center, full breath in, arms reach up. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. So heel the feet about hip width, interlace fingertips behind. Let the arms come up off the back, let the head dangle down. And then go ahead and release. Hands will make their way to the mat. Step yourself back. Down dog. Come forward to a high push-up. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale up top. And exhale back, down dog. Take a full breath in. And a full exhale. Take the gaze to your hands. You can step or float. That float is a little hop to the top of the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, folds. Bend the knees. Sit back, chair pose. Utkatasana. Find your depth. Right? Sometimes that's physical. Sinking in nice and deep. Trying to get the thighs parallel to the mat. And then just really lifting up through the heart and the arms. Some days it's taller and just coming within. Maybe it's a bit of both. And then as you're here, can you find that lift, that engagement through the back, where you're lifting the ribs? We get that through the front. We draw the core in and we feel that length. But can you find it back here, where you find engagement through the QL, letting yourself have a little more space from the base of the ribs, top of the hips, maybe hands on the hips, as you kind of stabilize and lift up and just feel that length, and then keeping that length with the arms reach up. One more full breath in. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. Exhale, stepping yourself back to down dog. Taking your left leg, reach it nice and long, step it through, coming into crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. So as you find crescent, the hips again, they're square to the top of the mat. You're nice and long through your right leg, pressing back through the heel, almost like you're trying to press on the baseboard behind you. And then as you sink in to the left foot, just sink straight down. Try to pull it back. Try to draw together the legs so you get that engagement and that deep core lift. right. Go ahead. Drop the left arm behind. You're going to reach for the right hip. Re-engage so that you're tall, and then start to lay back. So this gets into the right hip flexor, opening up through the heart, through the throat, which is my goal these days, to keep open, keep speaking our truth, keep doing it with a loving heart. That doesn't mean to sugarcoat, though. That does mean that when we speak our truth, we hold people accountable lovingly. Come forward. Plant your right hand up towards the right front corner of the mat. Gaze is going to come down. You can keep your left hand on the low back and then step forward. So you lift the right leg up. Feel the internal rotation of the right thigh, and then the left arm will reach up as we move into revolved half moon. Prashrita Ardha Chandrasana. Take one more full breath in, and then step back long, bringing yourself back up into crescent. Open warrior two. Sink it down. Find your length. The outer edge of the right foot, rooted with the heel. Sink in, solid through the whole sole of the foot of the left, like right where your big toe comes in, the little toe, the inner and outer edge of the heel. And you feel how that opens up through the left adductor. You're squaring yourself out to this wall right in front of you. Arms reaching front to back, and then just the gaze comes forward. Sink in. Flip your front palm. Lay back, reverse. Find some length. And then coming through side angle. So it is early on in the practice. You are welcome to bring left forearm onto thigh and reach up here, stay tall, or you can sink it in a little deeper. Stacking shoulders. One more full breath in. Bring the right hand down. And you're going to step yourself back, down dog. You're always welcome to stay here. Otherwise, if you want the flow, come forward to a high push-up, lowering down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, back, down dog. And then taking your right leg, reach it nice and long. Step the right foot through. Leave the left heel lifted. Come all the way up. Sink in. And from side to side, we know where we're going inside too, so some of that gets taken away, right? So we don't have to be anxious about how many poses or how long. We kind of know what to expect now, so we come into side two. So can you sink in to the pose? Can you explore those things that are a bit uncomfortable in the space? You know, is it that your body's starting to shake a little bit? Is it you're questioning your ability, your strength, your flexibility? Right, just look at those things. You don't have to do anything right now. But when we become aware, we can start to then say, okay, this works, I'm going to keep it. This doesn't work, I need to change it. And then we start to explore. Take one more full breath in, and a full exhale. Releasing your right arm behind, reach over towards your left hip. Reach long through the left arm and start to take that lay back, letting your heart float up, gaze up. And then as you come back through, you're going to reach long with the left hand up towards the left front corner of the mat. Right hand can stay at the low back or onto your right hip. And then as you step into your right leg, let the left leg float behind. And then get as long as you can, heart reaching forward. And then let yourself spin. Revolved half moon. Length through the torso. Reaching through the crown of the head. Like this little tug of war between the tailbone and the crown of your head. Take one more full breath in. And then step back long. Bring yourself up. Open warrior two. Let yourself sink in. Can it be a longer stance? As you're here, what shows up? Do you get anxious? Warrior two is a very open and strong posture. So it can play with us, right? Our hips are open, our heart is open, we're standing long, we're standing powerful. Can you stand in your strength with the power and the authenticity that you are here in this pose? It's a practice. Flip your front palm. Lay back, reverse. Reach up and out. And then coming through into your side angle, you can bring the right forearm onto the thigh. Sometimes keeping the arm in a bind helps to really keep the chest open. Bringing your right hand down to the floor or a block, or grabbing hold of the ankle or shin. Start to take the gaze up to the sky. If you want to release, taking the left arm, reach it up. One more full breath in. And then exhale, bring the hand down, step yourself back, down dog. Come forward, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Take a full breath in, and a full exhale. Gaze to your hands. Step or float, come on up. Inhaling halfway, exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, Utkatasana. Sink in nice and deep, and then start to come long. So you come into this version of a power chair, keeping length in the spine. Then we'll twist. Bring the right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Stacking shoulders, letting the gaze come along if that's good. Sink the sit bones back. Sometimes this pose is challenging between the twist and the bend. And so if you don't find that you have the mobility to cross your elbow over, take a block, its tallest point, right under your face, right hand to the block, and then reach up. Right, nice way to take a modification. Take one more full breath in. And a full exhale. And then release. Let yourself fold forward. Toe heel the feet. Let the head dangle. And then bringing your feet back together. Inhale, send the heart forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, sit back, chair pose, Utkatasana. Let yourself sink in. Come into that power chair reaching nice and long, and then crossing left elbow outside of the right knee, sink the sit bones, reach through the crown of the head. In all twists, I talked about this early on, but in all twists, you want to stay long in the spine, never curl. Right, when you curl and you twist, you start to jam all the vertebrae together and you don't leave that space for your discs. And if you do that all the time, over time, you will cause injury. Take a full breath in and a full exhale. One more, full breath in, full exhale. Go ahead and release. Fold forward. Toe heel the feet, head dingles. All right, bring yourself all the way up to stand. And then here, let's ground in to tree pose. Left foot will be your base, right toes come up, hands to the heart. Now, if you're pressing hands together at the heart, press them really firm and get as long in the body. So almost like, there's a string attached to the crown of the head or just pulling you up to support you. To release the right knee out in front, keep your hips square. You can extend the leg long if you would like. And then bring the knee in, send it behind you. Hands can stay at the heart if that's better for you, or hands down to the block, just working the lower half of Warrior Three, or extend the arms out in front, reaching long. Trying to run as best you can parallel to the floor. One more full breath in, full exhale. Bringing the knee back up and through, and release. Little wiggle around. Whew. All right, side two. Right foot is your base, left toes will come up. Hands to the heart. Get nice and tall. All right, from here, bringing the left knee out in front, hips stay square, stay tall. If you find yourself leaning back, then lower the leg, right? It can't be as tall. We'll build into it. It's not about perfect the first time. This practice is ever evolving, and there are many things in this practice that I am not good at. And so I'll come back to it and keep trying. It's the playfulness. It's the willingness to say, okay, you know what? If I really want to master that pose, then I have to practice it. It's much like life, right? If I really want to master this, bring the knee in, send the foot behind. Get yourself running parallel to the mat. Hands on blocks if that's your preference. Hands at heart if that's your preference. Extending it long if that's what you want. What do you want, right? Asking ourselves that so that we can make those adjustments, and we've got the perfect incubator to play with that right now as we're all being asked to stay, to come within, right? Can you come within during this time? Look inside and say, gosh, I really like what's going on. I'm going to keep that, but this thing needs to be tweaked. I need to pay attention, change my vocabulary around this goal. Or come through, bring the knee up. Is it now time to say, okay, you know what? I really thought that's what I wanted, but now that I can have a little space from it, it's not. And so maybe you change. This can be such a powerful time if we let it. And that does not mean that bringing the foot down, that we're not scared, and that we're not worried about our health or the health of our loved ones, or our financial wealth, our ability to pay our bills, right? It doesn't diminish any of that. Bring the arms up, reach them nice and long. It just means taking some time so that when you come out of this, you can move in a direction that better supports you. So you can find some happiness and some joy, send the heart forward, plant the hands, step yourself back, down dog. And then coming onto the knees, bringing yourself up. We're going to be playing with camel a lot these days, folks. Help open up through the heart, through the throat, so we can find our loving voice to share with those around us. So we can find ways, send the heart up, let the head drop back, so that we can find ways to use our voice in a loving manner to make the changes we need to make those around us, this world, our planet, more sustainable. And to know that we don't always have the answer. Bring yourself up. Sit yourself back. Let your eyes close. You can chew on that one for a little bit, right? We don't always have the answer. But if collectively we share our viewpoints, we can find one. All right, one more camel. Bring yourself up. Curl the toes under, hands just under the sit bones, let the shoulders rock in. Chin drops in and the gaze comes up as you start to lay back. Open the heart, open your throat. Let the hands start to slide down the thighs. I guess more truly your hamstrings. Bring yourself up and back. And sit back. Turn the palms up, let the eyes close. Bring left hand onto the heart, right hand onto the belly. What does your gut tell you? What is your willpower, your intent? Where does that bring you? How can you utilize your groundedness, your connectedness into this world? Tapping into your creativity, using it with your willpower and your intent and your integrity, your mission statement, to infuse it with love and then speak it through your voice as clearly as possible. And then to take that time to self-reflect and look in and say, okay, you know what, I handled that well, and ooh, that one I need to work on. And then through that vulnerability of being open and being able to share that with those around you, you stay connected to your circle. You stay connected to your spirituality. You stay connected to your tribe. To those who support you, who identify with you, who agree with you, but at the same time can challenge you in a loving way to help you grow so that we don't stay stagnant, that we move further and past, trying to move past limitations. All right, I probably could sit here and pontificate even longer, but I won't. So go ahead and open the eyes. Release the hands. And then swing the legs around. Bring them out in front of you. Comfortable seats. Again, if you want a little blanket or a little pillow under the sit bones, you're welcome to bring the left knee in and then grab hold of the left shin. So I have the left foot cradled into my right elbow and then my left knee into the left elbow. And then sit up tall as you hold it in, right? Our tendency is to kind of lay back or round back. And so I want you to get tall, plugging in, rising up. Letting the fuel of this practice, this internal fire, this movement through the blocks that we hold physically in our body to show us how we can move through the blocks, through our mental patterns, the things that we hold back because of things that block us from seeing clearly what's in front of us. All right, taking your left foot into both hands, plug in, take the leg long. You're always welcome to, if this is not good, grab hold of the shin. If you don't have props around you, if you have a strap, you can loop it around. You can use a towel or a blanket or even a pillow, whatever you have. Get tall. Now, this one might be more tricky if you're using a pillow, but if you have a strap or the foot or the ankle or the shin, right hand's gonna hold the left foot, and then the left arm's gonna open up behind, and you're gonna find this little twist. Sit up nice and tall. Apparently, I feel the need to wring things out today. One more full breath in. Bring yourself back through. Both hands are going to catch hold of the foot. Get nice and tall. This is the tricky one, folks. Arms are going to reach up and you're going to hold the leg out in front of you and it is going to shake like a bugger. Whew. Stay tall, stay tall, stay tall. Yes, the leg will drop. You can see mine's dropped at least a foot already. One more full breath in. And then release the leg down. Give yourself a little pounding into the left thigh. And then from here, one of two things. You can fold the left foot into the right thigh, or if you can take it more into lotus, you're welcome to bring the foot up into that hip crease and then start to fold over the right leg. Bring yourself all the way up. Releasing the left leg, maybe a little rock. And then bring the right shin in. Give it a little cradle like you're holding a baby. Holding yourself lovingly. Reach up tall. That's probably the biggest goal. Something that we all can work on is how do we hold ourselves more lovingly? How do we turn this judgment that we have within ourselves? How do we see when we are flared up with anger or frustration with somebody in front of us? How do we see that that is our work, not theirs? I don't have the answers. For I too work on those things. But if we continue to look at it, we might find our way, and my way won't necessarily be yours. And that's okay. That is what adds color and variety to this world. All right, so releasing your right foot out in front of you. Hold on with both hands again. Strap, towel, pillow, whatever makes sense. Sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to take that little twist. So the left hand's going to hold on to the right foot strap, pillow, towel. Right arm's going to open up as you spin and look behind. Keep reaching tall through the crown of the head. Try not to let yourself round. So you're plugged into the sit bones and grounded, connected through the left leg. Keep pressing into the mat. All right, back through center. Holding onto the foot, get yourself plugged in, and then release, arms reach up, right leg nice and long. Whew. Feel the shake, embrace it. You are strong enough. One more full breath in. Release the leg down, give a little pounding into the right quad. And then folding the right foot into the inside of the left thigh or bringing it up into that crease of the hip. And then letting yourself fold forward. Coming over the left leg. Stay where you can stay long, right? If you come into it and you start to round, then just bring yourself up a little bit. Arms can stay longer. All right, bring yourself up. Go ahead and release. And then just scooching yourself forward if you need. Reach the arms out in front of you, and then just nice and slow, bringing yourself down. Oh, I have to move this. And then once you make your way to the mat, bring the knees in, give yourself a nice little squeeze. A little rock if that's good. And then finding your final rest. Let the legs come long. The arms drop alongside the body. Let your eyes close. Letting your bones be heavy and the muscles just melting into the floor. Letting go softly. Breathe. Grace has joined the practice.
Well, good. You guys are safe and sound. Our neighbor across the street.
This is life, friends.
Stephen, and then he went to Freiburg to have his surgery. And they kept.
All right, give a little wiggle into fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead, legs long. Welcome some length back into your body. And then bringing the knees in toward your heart. Find your way onto your right side. And then finding your way all the way up to a seated position. Bring hands in towards your heart. Take a nice full breath in and a full exhale. Full breath in and a full exhale. Inhale, draw your thumb knuckles up to your forehead, elbows wide, huge smile on your face and light in your heart. Inhale. And exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Be well, my friends. We'll connect again tomorrow and each day that I can. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with me, for practicing with me. I am Deb, I'm never very good at introducing myself, but most of you, well, my local community know me. Anyway, you can find us once we can reconvene again in person. You can find me at Indigo Olm Wellness Studio in Neenah, Wisconsin. And I would love to see your smiling faces when we can get to that point and have big hugs and laughter. But for now, we will laugh from afar and have those virtual hugs as I embrace you all. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your practice. I appreciate you taking some time to spend with me. And I so appreciate this practice in you. From my heart to yours, be well.